All right. Hello and good morning, everyone. Sorry, I got a little bit of a late start to it today. I woke up a little bit late. I actually slept in today, so I said, you know what? Let's roll with it. Let's sleep in a little bit. But I'm here now, so let's rise and grind with Diablo 4. Been super enjoying Diablo 4 again now that the new expansion has really changed the game for me. So here we are. We got a little bit of leveling up to do. I gotta play with my stuff just a little bit. We're looking for the Grandfather Sword. We have not had any luck, but that's right. It's one of these. It's one of these Grandfather Kingslayer two-handed swords, but we need a super unique legendary version of that. So that is what we're on the hunt for today. I just got to finish up I was in the middle of this when I ran out of time yesterday doing World of Warcraft, our hardcore tour, and I reached level 24. That is the farthest I have ever made it into hardcore World of Warcraft ever. So we conquered a dungeon, which I really never thought I would be able to do. So we're slowly making it towards the end. I'm really impressed with how far we're making into World of Warcraft Classic, and I'm really hyped for. There's a lot of people who seem to think that at BlizzCon we're going to get Classic Plus, where they're going to start making new content for Classic mode, and I'm really excited to see what that looks like, if that is true. So here's hoping that is absolutely true. Let's see here. I've just got to figure out what we're doing here. Let's see. Next, we need the hex board. I do not know how. I don't know how people figure this out. Like the amount of people who are able to figure out how to play games like Diablo and like get everything set up correctly and be powerful and all that. I just don't get it. I don't get how their brain works. So they can look at the massive jumble like this and say, "Yep, I know exactly how to create the most powerful build of all time," and they just do it. You know, it is just mind-boggling to me. All right, this one is the Hellforge rune. Okay. All right, and that's all we do. Oh wait, it says we. That's all we do there. Okay, next. We need this board, which is rotation 4 for empowered. Which I do not have yet, so I guess we will have to find that one and go to this board, which will be Ritualism Unbound. Hopefully we have that one. Fathomless, Ritualism, that one. Okay, so we need Ritualism Unbound on rotation 1 out of 4, which looks like that. Okay, grab all those, and this one will be Unbound, which I'm pretty sure I have not leveled at all Oh, we do have it. We have empowered right there. Cultist. Unbound. Okay. Sorry, I know this is really boring to watch. We're almost done with this, I promise. Actually, let me set this up here. There we go. We're almost done making our character all set up. I know it's boring, but it's apparently super important, you know? You gotta have the right points in the right place if you're going to compete at all. And then we go up, 3, over, up. Okay. We have that set. Let's get to actual gameplay. And we're going to the Fading Echo Nightmare Dungeon. Oh, I don't have the thing set. There we go. Okay. There we go. So, we need to slay 2 lieutenants of Savajanga. What kind of a name is that? It's a little loud. Let me fix that. One thing I love about modern Diablo is just how chaotic, like how many things are on the screen, and just the complete screen clearing is just one of my absolute favorite things. Like, it just looks so good when there's a million dudes on you and you just boom, blow them all up. It's so satisfying. That might be one of the most satisfying things in like all of gaming is when you get a good screen clear on Diablo 4. And I actually be time, now that I've got a proper build on this character, it might be time to pump up the difficulty just a little bit. I think we might be able to go to the next level of Torment. We're on Torment 6 right now. We might be able to sneak into Torment 7 now. I'm still missing some like essential parts of my gear. I'm still missing an absolutely required pair of gloves, a required pair of boots, and the main weapon. So like my build is incomplete, and we're still getting farther than I thought we would. So that's nice. Emmy just got Diablo also, so I'm very, very excited to get to do this with her. See if we can convince her to enjoy this. I know it's not for everyone, and I wasn't a big fan of Diablo 4 when it came out, but they've made enough changes that it feels really good. It's really fun. It's good, mindless fun. You know, I wouldn't play this for hours and hours and hours on end, but a couple hours here and there, just blowing things up with giant fireballs, totally worth it. Happy Memorial Day also. Forgot to say Happy Memorial Day, everyone. It is a free day off for some people. I know that there was apparently a controversial tweet that people were talking about where Kamala Harris apparently said for people to enjoy their day off today, and people got really upset about, like, well, that's not what today is about. Like, I understand that it's not about a free day off, but also we live in America where some people don't get guaranteed paid time off, where some people don't get sick pay and things like that. So if they do happen to get a day off because of a national holiday, like, yeah, that's what they're going to focus on is the free day off, because they don't usually get those. So I completely understand if someone's like, hey, today is just a free day off for me, take it. Take that day off. Did we finish the dungeon? Was that really the boss of the dungeon? Okay, yeah, maybe we do need to bump up the difficulty. That was too easy. And we gotta do one Undercity in order to upgrade our war plans, so we'll do that really quick. Yeah, take the day off, please. I don't have any plans for today, I don't think. Well, the big thing we were gonna go do, we already got to do, which was going to see the the frogs at the aquarium, and that was so cool. KFC's here this morning. Good morning, KFC. The Amazon exhibit that they had at the aquarium was just so good. I could not believe how good it was. It was a little hot in there, but I understand, you know, it's the Amazon, so they got to keep it humid. It was a little warm, a little toasty, but those poison dart frogs were so adorable to see. I had no idea that poison dart frogs were so small. Like, these things were maybe the size of like a dime. I thought poison dart frogs were like way larger. Because, you know, you think of like Australia and the Amazon, you think of like giant creatures, but the poison dart frogs were just absolutely tiny, but super adorable. So I'm super happy we got to go do that. The jellyfish they had there is always my favorite exhibit, is just to watch, like, they have these giant jellyfish that basically look like clouds, and watching them just float endlessly is almost mesmerizing. Like, totally worth it. If you have an aquarium in your area, go support your local aquarium. Though the one thing I am disappointed with, we went and did photos, because I always do photos because photographer. I don't think any of the photos that I took are going to be award-winning photos. You know, they're good. I just don't know that any of them are like National Geographic award-winning level. And well, some people are like, you know, it's still not a waste. Like, no, it's not a waste. Like, I still enjoyed myself, but also, like, when I go to take photos, I'm holding myself to that high level because that's what I want to be. I want to be a National Geographic photographer, so I always want my photos to be that next level, wow, amazing. I just don't think I managed to capture that. So that was a little bit of a bummer, which just means, hey, I have to go back again at some point and try again, right? Keep trying until I can get to where I want to be. Granted, some of it's not my fault. Like, the conditions in the aquarium are very, very difficult, right? It's dark, there's a ton of people, you can't use flash. So you are working with what you've got, which can be very difficult. There might not be the best conditions for photography. But that's also like one of those things that I always tell people, like, sometimes you just got to adjust to it, right? Like, it's cool when you can do staged photography and get certain things, but also I think it's way cooler when you can work in suboptimal conditions and still get really good photos. So, all right, boss time. Aaliyah Karax. She is not taking very much damage. There we go.
So much good I would have done. So much good.
Oh, got a rune. Couple runes. Nothing super good here though, and bunch of junk. We should have Bubble here a little bit later today. Bubble said that she has the day off, so we might have Bubble joining us a little bit later. Been a little while for that. Alright, War Plan leveled up, and looks like not a lot of good stuff. We got Executioner's Sword, too low level. Nothing. Alright. That's all garbage. That is the one downside to getting a lot of loot. They give you a ton of loot in this game, but it means that a lot of the loot ends up being pretty worthless to us, simply because I'm looking for very specific items, you know? Alright, let's upgrade our war plans. War plans are updated. And to the next Helltide. We've got 24 minutes. We've got to collect 400 shards. That should be doable. I'm also curious if any of y'all have seen this. I haven't watched the video, but like everyone is talking about the lady who ordered like a coffee at Tim Hortons or Dunkin's or whatever, and she got the wrong order and she went in and passed away. And from what the internet is saying was that she worked herself up so much over getting the wrong cup of coffee that she basically gave herself a heart attack and passed away by giving herself a heart attack. And again, I don't know how much this is true. I've just been seeing people talk about it, but like, I could not imagine being that upset over a wrong cup of coffee, you know? Like, that is just unfathomable to me. I understand the frustration. Now that I get. Like, I do get super frustrated that every time you go through like a McDonald's or a drive-through or something like that, like you're pretty much guaranteed to get a wrong order, and that is super frustrating. I understand the frustration with that, but I don't think I'd ever physically go in and take that out on an employee, you know? That's just something you complain about to your wife or whoever else is in the car with you. Like, oh, of course they couldn't get an order right, and it is frustrating, right? I understand the whole idea of minimum wage, minimum effort, but like you order 3 items and they can't even get that correct. Like, the other thing people are talking about so much online is that the next generation, their customer service is just absolutely garbage, and with that, I would absolutely agree that the amount of effort that goes into good customer service just does not exist from the next generation. And I see that it's always justified with people saying like, oh, well, we're exhausted and we have no hope because the world sucks. Like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, like, but everyone else is living in that same situation too, you know? Like, I live in the same world as you and see the same depressing news as you, so like, why am I able to give good customer service, but you use it? Just feels like an excuse, you know? Like, I understand that there's a lot going on and there's fatigue and frustrations with the world, but also other people manage to still do it, so why can't you, you know? So I feel like some people lean on that as an excuse to just not put in effort. Ooh, no, that's right. I thought we got some good drops there. We did not. That was just a regular rune. I haven't played since they really put in the new rune system, so I don't know how good the runes are. I'm sure, like anything else, it becomes like mandatory for builds, and it's something to definitely work for. But I don't know. I don't see the value in them just yet. All right, we need unique handguards, so that's one chest we're gonna come back to. Let's take this guy out. Ooh, maybe not take this guy out. What is? He just resisted by attack? That's gonna take a lot to take this guy down, so. Here I was getting cocky thinking we were ready to pump up the difficulty, but this guy's got, he's taking no damage from me. Come on, keep spawning dudes, keep spawning minions, and that really helps. The one downside to the build that I'm running is you absolutely need a bunch of little mobs surrounding you. Forgot it was Monday? Long weekends will do that to you, but you have to work today, don't you, Dex? You don't get a long weekend today. Okay, that was not worth the investment at all. Actually, I take that back. Maybe it was, because now we have enough shards to go open up this treasure chest. Maybe. I was super looking forward to this long weekend. Like I said, I already did the thing I wanted to do, which is go to the aquarium, but Ben's here. Good morning, Ben. Not only is it Monday, but did you know that we are like 5 days away from halfway through the year? Like, this year has gone by so fast. I absolutely cannot believe that we are almost halfway through the year already. Heads up for all y'all. Been starved to contact the whole summer break because I got no friends at home. I know that feeling all too well, KFC. When I lived with my parents when I was in school, we lived 15 miles away from town in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and all of my friends were absolutely awful friends to me, and not a single one of them ever like gave me their phone number or talked to me over the summer breaks. So summer breaks, I would spend basically the entirety of summer break alone. And that was an awful feeling. I would go absolutely stir crazy just sitting there waiting for summer break to end so I could hang out with friends again and be in school and see other people. And like, I was too young and dumb to understand, like, well, if they're not calling you and they're not talking to you and they don't want to see you over the summer, then you're a friend of convenience. They enjoy having you around at school, but they don't actually want to hang out with you. They don't actually want to do any of those things, you know? So it's a harsh lesson you eventually have to learn. Should play some Star Citizen. I don't know if I'll have time for Star Citizen or not tonight. So what I was getting into is we might... my streaming time might change for a little bit. My little brother-in-law unfortunately just lost his apartment and is struggling to find a new apartment and struggling to pay rent. So he is going to come live with us for a little period of time to hopefully be able to get on his feet again and save up for rent. And I don't know. I've only lived with Emmy, so I've never really lived with anyone else. And so he's gonna have to crash on our couch for a little bit. And I know that I'm loud when I stream. I'm very, very loud and very, very up in the morning. I know that he is very, very much not a morning person. So depending on how it works, I'm gonna still try and keep my schedule. But it's possible we might have to stream in the evenings, simply because I want to be able to give him a chance to sleep and rest and have a safe place to rest and recuperate before he jumps back into finding a place to live. So we might have to change stream times for just a little bit. You know, I might have to stream at a normal time for normal people until he can get back up on his feet. All right, I think we've got enough for one more. We might have to do some night streams. Again, it depends where he's gonna move in next week, and then we'll kind of play it by ear and see what he can sleep through. We're gonna try and give him some earplugs and masks and all that. And like the hard part is, you know, I always talk to, I think that I'm autistic. Like, I have a schedule, and I like to keep my schedule, which is usually wake up at 4 a.m., stream or make content until 6 a.m., and then I go and wash dishes, start the laundry, do the house chores. You know, I'm always up and moving around and listening to things and all that, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do all that, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to... I don't know if I'm going to be able to change my schedule like that, you know? I'm not good at schedule changing. I like my routines. I don't like them to be interrupted. But again, I want to give this dude a break and a chance to recuperate and not worry about money and stress about life while he gets things figured out. KFC, I saw something about your internet being horrible for a second there. Controversial topic. So the girl I've been in love with for close to a decade, her boyfriend just sadly passed away in an accident 2 days ago. How soon is too soon, if you know what I mean? So that is a really difficult conversation, and I don't know that there is one answer. I know that my little sister-in-law went through that. She was dating someone in high school, and he got in a car wreck and passed away, and she basically hasn't dated anyone since. And this is a topic that I've talked about. Maybe it's none of my business, and maybe you know, I don't have a dog in this fight, but I think it's pretty, I don't know, like unhealthy or bad is the word, that she hasn't dated anyone since. Like it's been like 10 years, and like I get that you were in love with that high school boyfriend, but like refusing to date anyone else and move past that traumatic event, like I feel like there's some unhealed, unhealthy trauma going in there. So it depends on how long it takes for that person to process that death. So it could be a couple months, it could be a year, it could be never. Like I've talked about this before, right? If something were to happen to Emmy, God forbid, I would simply never date again. I have no interest in ever being with someone ever again. I found my wife. We had a great time. I don't anticipate ever dating again. So I don't know. I don't know how soon is too soon. That is the conversation you'll have to have with that person to see when they're ready, and being supportive and understanding that you might get a no, and accepting that just might be the answer. That's one of those games that I really hate. There was this tweet about a lady who was like, well, this guy asked me out and I told him no, and he respected that and left. And like I wanted him to chase me, you know, I wanted him to ask me out a few more times before I said yes. I hate that game. KFC, what disappeared? Oh, my internet is horrible. That's what disappeared for me. The my internet is horrible disappeared for a little bit. Tell him house guest starts staying after 3 days. I think he's going to be here at least a month. He needs a chance. He has zero savings. Like, he can't afford rent, so he needs to be able to save up first and last month's rent. So he's going to be here a little bit longer than that. I've been playing Jiu-Jitsu Shenanigans. I did finally release my article on Roblox, my absolutely scathing review about how I didn't think that there was a single thing worth playing in that game. I did try Jiu-Jitsu Shenanigans, and maybe I just didn't get it, but it just seemed like I've played games like Jiu-Jitsu Shenanigans before. It actually existed in there was an old game on Warcraft 3 called Anime Arena that was what Jiu-Jitsu Shenanigans was. So like it's already been done before, and it was already done better, so like it just didn't scratch that itch for me. See, none of these look more powerful than what we got. We need a Buru of the Nameless is what we're looking for. Slaughter, Horizon, Phoba, Fur. Okay, so with this, we need to get this changed into Buru. That's really good. That charm is really, really good. We need to find a seal that gives us the 6th rune. We need both of those really, really bad. We need 6 charm slots. So let's go. There is the ability we can reroll a set charm. And we want to change the Phoba of the Nameless to the Buru of the Nameless. Fur, Malor, Linta, Malor, Fur, Phoba. Come on. Fur, Linta, Phoba. Lord Buru of the Nameless. Okay. We now have our 5-piece casting a sigil skill now creates all base sigil skills at once. And it doubles the power when we're unleashed. I keep forgetting you bought a game package for Star Citizen. We don't have to play during free pie events. I gotta annoy you enough so you say yes. I should have some time. So this week is really busy because we're getting ready to move my brother-in-law in. Next week I'm preparing for this big airsoft event. After that, I should be a little bit more free. I'm very excited to go to this airsoft event. Very, very excited to see this airsoft event. I'm really getting into it. I've been really excited. Okay, now that we've changed a couple of our things, we need to remove some of our skills. So we need... We can assign this skill to here. Because now all of our sigils automatically cast. And we need... let's see. Need that one. Bubble's here. Good morning, Bubble. We knew you would make it. We knew you'd make it. How is it going? Are we doing... No, this is DIablo. Alright, so now we need to put some points in here since we're going to be summoning. We need that one. That one. And that one. Okay. We are set. Baby is kicking me a lot lately. Steam is like the only gaming company that's actually good. It's the best, hands down. I don't know. I wouldn't call Steam good. Steam is good for like consumer. It has a lot of good consumer practices, but they also were recently in court defending their gambling mechanics in CS2. So like, just like every other company, they kind of dabble in some evil. They may not be as evil as like Amazon, but Steam is out here. They host pornographic games. They allow for abusive practices in their games like gambling. So there's still some issues, unfortunately. There are very few companies that exist that I would ever call a good company. Like, in order for a company to actually be good in my book, one, they would need to be a Catholic company, which is already so few companies. They would actually have to be a Catholic company. They couldn't just say, "Oh, we're Catholic and we're trying to sell you something, so buy from us." No, you actually have to uphold and live those Catholic values. And the reason I say that is not because, only Catholics can be good, but because I know that, like, most companies are going to do some forms of charity, and those charities typically are going to donate to anti-Catholic things, and that's a whole thing. And, like, Emmy and I have had that conversation a whole lot. There's this little group in our area called the Soup Squad. And the Soup Squad, every Friday or every Saturday, they go out and they feed the homeless, feed the hungry. It's a great cause. I really like them. And we have this kind of debate back and forth whether or not we can support them, because they are very, very, very anti-Catholic in some of their practices. So while yes, they are feeding the hungry, and that is a good thing, the question is, like, yes, they do this one good deed, but they're also promoting these other values and other things that go against our beliefs. So should we support this company in... They have one good mission goal that we like, but then their other mission goals are antithetical to the religion. So I want to help them feed the hungry. I want them to help feed the homeless, but I also don't want to support a company that's out here doing all these other things that I don't support. So that's where it gets tough, like figuring out the company does one thing I like, but then they're also, on the other hand, out here donating to these places that I don't like. So, like, how do you balance that? It's always a very difficult conversation. How do you balance, they do one good thing, but on the other hand, they do all these evil things? So figuring that out is very difficult, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Speaking of feeding people, though, I'm very excited I was talking to Emmy about for my birthday, I wanted to do some more giveaways and give some things to people in need. And I found out that there's this organization that does cake in a pan. And they figured out how to make a boxed cake recipe. Like, you can go buy like a Martha Stewart pre-made box mix of cake. And if you use a can of soda, apparently it makes it just as good as if you were to use eggs and oil. So by having the soda in there, you can make a completely shelf-stable kit for people. Here's a birthday cake kit for you that comes with a box of cake mix, a can of soda. You mix those together and it makes a perfect cake. A little bit of frosting and some, like, a gift card to Starbucks or whatever. And you can give those to the food bank. So I was like, that's for my birthday. That's what I want to do. I want to make a bunch of birthday cake kits, so that so that other people who can't afford birthday cake or might not be able to have birthday cake can have a birthday cake on their birthday. So I'm really hyped to have been able to figure that out. That I saw that, hey, we can make completely shelf stable birthday cake kits for people who might not otherwise get a birthday. Because, like, I know there's so many great stories of, like, single moms and parents out there who try and do everything for their kid's birthday, but I also understand, like, as things get more and more expensive, a birthday cake would be one of those things of excess you might not be able to afford. So being able to go to the food bank and there's a kit there that has a birthday gift and a piece of cake and all that already in there, I think will be a really, really awesome thing for them. So I'm really excited to get to go do that. We made a cake like that in high school. Did it actually turn out those? That's one of the things I'm skeptical about, is I see all these people saying, yeah, you can make a cake using a can of Sprite instead of eggs and oil. Like, just because you can doesn't mean that it's good, right? Like, is it actually good? KFC, my workout is inconsistent. I'm feeling that. I'm so frustrated. My weight has gone up a little bit, and I've been losing, and now I'm not losing any weight, and I'm frustrated. I want to be losing weight, and I'm not right now. So, starting tomorrow, I am going back on the big fast to start cutting some weight again, because I've still got 40 pounds to lose. I'm not giving up now, so it tasted no different. Oh, I'm so excited to hear that. The other thing I'd like to do for my birthday, I love doing, like, I don't want anything for my birthday, right? I got too much garbage. I don't want any more stuff around my house. So I've decided for my birthdays, I'm just going to give to other people. One of the other things I would love to do for my birthday would be to find an underprivileged kid who shares my birthday and give them a birthday. Find a kid who maybe won't be able to afford a birthday, their 8th birthday or whatever, and do it for them. So I want to do that, but like I said, with the little brother-in-law moving in, and our cats have to go through surgery, unfortunately, next month, I don't think I'm going to have nearly as much money as I would like, because cat surgery is expensive. I tell you, I had no idea. My poor little kitty, he's got a little busted tooth, so we gotta go change out his tooth. And that's gonna be like $1,500 to put the cat under to change out his tooth. That is, granted, when I had my hernia surgery, that was $100,000. You know, surgery, or you know, my insurance covered most of that. Also, speaking of that, I went and got my teeth cleaned. I'm done with the dentist for a little bit. I get 4 months before I have to go back to the dentist, so I've made lots of progress in my teeth. But apparently I went to the dentist too much the last few days, and they told me that I've run out of insurance for the month. And you know how frustrating it was for my dentist to be like, hey, we understand that you've run out of dentistry for the year, so would you like to hold off on scheduling your appointments until next year when you can have your insurance covered? I'm really glad they told me that. I'm glad that they were giving me the option, because I understand not everyone can afford it. But you know how frustrating it is to hear that there's some people where it's just like, hey, you don't have insurance for the rest of the year because you maxed it out, so guess what? You don't get the dental health that you need for the rest of the year. Like that, you have to live with having dirty teeth and possibly getting cavities and root canals and having to pay even more next year because your insurance has decided that this totally necessary health care that we said you needed to have, that was totally necessary, exceeded the amount that they wanted to cover. So America sucks for that, you know? And I'm glad that I am blessed enough that I can just say, I don't care, I'm going to pay for out of pocket, because I'm trying to take my teeth health more seriously, because I was very bad about that, and that's why it cost me so much, was because I had to do a bunch of things to get my teeth back up to par. But again, it's so frustrating. I know there's people out there who can't afford that, who are just like, okay, well, I guess I don't get dental health. I guess I don't deserve to have health and clean teeth because insurance says no more to these teeth cleanings. Insurance sucks a lot. And like my hernia surgery, when I finally was able to get my hernia surgery, even though it was $100,000 out of pocket, or for the cost of it, even though I had insurance, I still had to pay like $6,000 to repair my body, and it was totally necessary. Everyone agreed, like, it was 100% necessary. I would say life-saving surgery. So if you don't have $10,000, then you don't get a quality of life. Like, how American, right? How American to say you don't have $10,000, well then you don't get a good life. You can have a mediocre, pain-filled life, but you can't have a good life. My sigil is not activating properly, I don't think. I'm supposed to be summoning things in these rings. I think I messed something up here. It looks cool, though. If I hadn't watched them made, I wouldn't have known. Speaking of watching things being made, I got to watch, I don't know if you all did this, I know we've talked about it before, but back in like grade school, we had to do this thing where like you have to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you have to write the instructions down, and your teacher follows the instructions very literally to show you how, like, hey, don't forget you have to give instructions like opening up the lid off the peanut butter, or else you can't get the peanut butter out, and you have to specify where to put the jelly. You can't just say smother it on there, because you have to specify on the bread. You know that? So someone posted a TikTok of a bunch of those, watching the kids react to that, watching the kids react to their instructions being read and failed, was so absolutely hilarious. I feel so bad because some of them are getting so frustrated, but like, what what a taste of the real world. What a taste of dealing with actual people you're gonna be interacting with in real life who can't infer basic instructions that truly need really, really intense, detailed instructions. I love watching those reactions. Oh, this is so frustrating. So I've beat this area. I'm completely beat it, and yet these monsters remain. And for some reason, they are invulnerable to me right now. I forgot to clean out my inventory. We need those gloves. We need that set charm. Okay. And we need that rune. There we go. Alright, so we need to hit level 50 on some of these glyphs to upgrade them. Alright, let's go dump off our stuff in town. We got too much stuff. Too much stuff. So much not next competition next year for once. I actually have to try hard. Should have been doing that from the start. You do, is it like competitive lifting, like competitive bodybuilding, or is it like a certain lift, or is it just in general? Tell me more. Sounds fascinating. I think these are the gauntlets we were looking for, y'all. I think we got it. Let me check my build guide here. I think this is the upgrade we were looking for. It is not. We want Hands of the World Breaker and Footfalls of the World Waning. These are Pain Gorger gauntlets. Damaging enemies with a non-basic skill casts marks for the next 3 seconds. When a basic skill first... Oh, we don't use basic skill, so that won't help us at all. Just school. Never catch me in a competitive lift. Why not? If you do it at the school level, why not bump it to the next level? I don't think any of this is an upgrade. Crazy weak despite the progress you made. Alright, we got Phoba, Fur, Buru. We definitely want that, but we need a 6 charm slot seal. We're not quite there yet. Almost there. Not quite there yet. We need to upgrade our gear. Let's repair everything. Alright, we need to go to the Fields of Judgment. I mean, I can't lift more than 10 pounds due to my hernia, so I mean, you're stronger than me. You're already stronger than me. Speaking of competitions, though, I just started watching for the first time. I'm going to mess up its name. I want to call it Haiku, but I'm pretty sure it's Haiku, the volleyball anime. It's a little ridiculous, but also, like, tell me why it's so good. Like, I am super enjoying volleyball anime. I never thought volleyball anime would be something that I'm into, but Haikyuu is a really fun, really good anime. Highly recommend. Alright, we got Cowl of Malefic Torment. Hex dooms enemy. We don't use Hex, so that's not very good. Lurid Pack. Rampage deals increasing damage. Ooh. I heard a lot of good things about that. I am super enjoying it. I'm on season 2 of Haikyuu right now. It's very good slice of life. It's got some very cute moments. The only complaint I have about it, and this is it's anime, right? Like every anime has got this to some degree. You can't escape it. Is that there's one female character, so of course all the male characters, it's high school, right? So I understand it's high school. All the male characters see the female character and they act crazy for her and try, like, they're all in love with her, and like it's a little frustrating to see that, but like it's not bad. And it's not over the top so far. So I can deal with that. But it's really good. If you haven't watched it so far, I would say it's worth watching. At least the first season's been a lot of fun. Hey, puberty, the emotional stuff is crazy. I'm overthinking things. I'm sorry to tell you, that might not ever go away. You know, I know plenty of adults who overthink things. And sometimes there's just no escape from the overthinking things. Why did that not... That didn't happen the first time. That dude just blew me up. Some of us just overthink things for life. Alright, so we have to dodge his little chain bolts of lightning. That thing actually hurts me, so we need to dodge that. There we go. That was a big crit. Alright, let him summon all of his little cronies here. I need to work on my crit strength. Like, the reason why this isn't clearing the room in one hit is my crits aren't critting properly. So I am still missing pieces of gear, like I said, for this. So that is the next thing we're working on. However, luckily having all these dudes here means I can actually power up properly. Okay, dodge. There we go. Kaboom. Can I use... I had a lair key that is... Oh, I need to go to a greater rift for that. Okay. Alright. I was on the right track, then I got lazy. I don't know what happened. Fixing is impossible when I'm being yelled at 24/7. See, we got Infernal Homunculus, Gauntlets of Sheol. We want gloves, so we're close. That's not what we're looking for, though. No, just talk about yourself, please. You are always welcome to talk about yourself here. I sit here and talk about myself all day long. I'm always glad to hear about other people and other things. You are always welcome to talk about yourself. Especially if your friends aren't talking to you over the summer. That sucks. Like I said, I understand that pain. I understand that one a little bit. So, like, that is what I'm here for. Good chill chat in the morning. You know what other anime I want to watch, Dex? Since it said that one sounds good, have you watched Blue Lock? Blue Lock is a soccer anime, and it looks like a good time. Blue Lock looks pretty good looking. So Blue Lock is going to be the next one that I watch. Alright, let's charge up my power on this guy. 100% power, so we can blow that guy up. Got him. Boots, ring, no gloves. We do need some boots, so are you giving me the boots that I need at least? Yen's Blessing. No. Play Pacopia? I do still have Pacopia. I do still have Pacopia sitting right over there. Let's see. So I do still have it. I just haven't felt any pull to play it. Like, it was fun, but like I don't know. It just it hasn't been calling me to it. You know. Been playing Mario Galaxy 2. I have never played any of the Mario Galaxies. I have like the triple game cartridge that will give me the ability to play. I've never actually played the Mario Galaxy games. I don't know, for some reason Super Mario Sunshine drew me in like no other, and no Mario game has ever drawn me in again like Super Mario Sunshine. Something about Sunshine was just like the vibes, the music, the gameplay. Something about Sunshine was just absolutely perfect, and nothing has ever come close to that feeling again for me. I've heard that the Super Mario Galaxy is everyone's favorite. That is like the GOAT. I don't know. 64. I think 64. 64 is overrated. I'm gonna say it. 64. I'm not saying it was a bad game. It was great for its time. I think 64 is a little overrated, honestly. Basically, that's what I'm gonna say about every Nintendo 64 game. I feel like deserves to be called overrated. Even the best games on Nintendo 64, they're good games, but none of them can ever be the greatest game. That's why I always talk about the Legend of Zelda. Be like, oh, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is one of the greatest games ever made. No, like it being on the 64 automatically means it can't be the greatest game ever because it's got hideous graphics, terrible controls. Like it simply can't. It simply can't be the greatest game ever if it's on the Nintendo 64. Why did I come back here? I feel like Dex asks himself that every single day. And the answer is, it's like a train wreck. You can't look away. Terraria is so awesome, I've got no problems with that. That's another one I need to sit down and play. People have told me for a long time that I need to play Terraria. Usually you can blame this rant on Dex, so this time it's my fault. Also, on Wednesday, my Helldivers dolls come in. So prepare for some Helldivers content when those are coming on Wednesday. We get our Helldivers. I'm so excited for that. Honestly, I'm most excited for this for getting to. I'm waiting for my paycheck. The airsofting. Like, I went to the airsoft field yesterday. Showed me like they built like Jeeps for this. They've got like watchtowers. I want to go LARP as an airsofter so bad. I am so hyped for this airsofting. They're gonna go test out my lens, make sure it's not gonna break. But I am very, very excited for airsofting. I might get way too into airsofting. I am hyped for Payday 2, Dex. Payday is on a Wednesday, and I am very hyped for Payday also. We also we watched the new 28 Days Later. The Bone Temple was on Netflix, so we finally watched Bone Temple. I was so surprised with how fast they were able to get another 28 Years Later movie out. And that they didn't sacrifice quality. It was still a pretty darn good movie. I really, really enjoyed watching that. Dex, I have offered you so many things, and you always say no. So I don't know why you asked for pay, because when I offered to Venmo you some money because you had a need for something, you always say no. So I don't know what your game is here. I care too much about what people think about me. I used to not care at all. I don't know what happened. I think there's a tough balance to achieve with that. People tell you shouldn't care what other people think about you, and while that is the right answer, I think ultimately we're always going to have a little bit of care what people think about us. And like there is, like, for example, people talk about the crisis of people wearing like pajamas in Walmart. Like, I do think that there definitely does need to be a little bit of like shame, and like I want people to see me representing myself as a well showered and groomed individual when I go grocery shopping. So like, it's not necessarily a bad thing to care what people think about you, especially in that context, right? Like, or like the people who clip their toenails on airplanes, and other people get hit in the face with someone else's dirty toenails on the airplane. Like, you should care what people think about you, and like, hey, that person's a selfish jerk because they're clipping their toenails on public transportation. Like, maybe that's not such a bad thing, right? It's like when people say we should bring back shame. Like, the shame does serve an important purpose in our society, and having a completely shameless society has not been the benefit that we thought it would be for people to feel zero shame, right? Like, maybe you need to feel a little shame. I have seen so many airplane videos of people like sitting with their feet on the armrests, touching strangers with their bare feet in public, like. And I'm all for bare feet. Like, I agree. We should get rid of our foot prisons. People should be able to be barefoot in public if they want to. I take no issue with being barefoot in public. I take issue when you take those bare feet and you put them on strangers or subject other people to them, right? Like, that's where I draw the line. Like, yeah, if you don't want to wear shoes, don't wear shoes, but don't subject other people to your shoeless lifestyle, you know? I never know the answer to anything. I hate to say it, but that's probably going to be the rest of your life too, right? There's, as we get older, as we get wiser, as we understand our world more and more, a part of understanding our world more and more is understanding that we truly don't understand our world at all. So that is to me, that is a sign of maturing and growing, is when you understand you don't really understand anything at all. Dio's here. Good morning. Why does this apple taste weird? Because Trump put a tariff on it, as the internet would tell you. How's it going, Dio? We don't have quite. Wait. We need 600. No, we're not going to have enough Aether to do this. Like, every day, Emmy's talking to me, and she's like, I don't understand why people do X, Y, Z. And, like, trying to understand why people function the way they do is just an impossible task sometimes. Working this holiday, but security is easy. Just looking at cameras. I yearn for one of those security jobs. I know that they're boring, but, like, I would love, if money wasn't an object, I would totally love to work a job where, like, you have to get up and walk every 20 minutes, walk a mile around the building, watch the cameras, and then that's the job, right? That sounds like a dream job for me. Just get up, exercise, wander around, make sure there's no shenanigans ongoing. I can do that. So good. Makes evangelizing online a breeze. I need that helmet. Drop that. Drop that. Grab all those. Back to town. I watched a guy, speaking of evangelization, I watched a guy get absolutely bullied on the Catholic forums. He converted last year to Catholicism, and so this year he started a podcast to talk about Catholicism and masculinity and his journey. And the amount of people who came out and were like, "Hey, you've only converted for a year, so you don't get to have an opinion because you don't know enough about the faith. So shut up until you've been here for at least 15 years." Like I was so shocked how many people were legit just like full on bullying this dude because he dared to start a podcast and have an opinion on Catholicism. Like it was so awful to see. What's my favorite anime? Oh boy. I have a lot of favorite animes. My absolute favorite of all time, we're either going to have to go with My Hero Academia or Frieren. I think those are the two best animes ever made. Like I feel that in my heart of hearts. I feel like Frieren or My Hero Academia are going to be the greatest. All right, another big set of loot, and it was all garbage. You know, my other social is Inuyasha. I guess you can guess my favorite Dio reference, Inuyasha reference. Someday I need to sit down and watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like, I tried watching the first episode, and like the art style, I can't get into the art style. I never gave it a real chance. I need to give it a real chance. I've never given it a real chance. I gotta watch Frieren, but I still can't bring myself to watch My Hero Academia. The community has sullied the good name so much. The community for My Hero Academia is very bad, but the community aside, My Hero Academia might be one of the greatest animes ever. It's worth your time to give it a try because it is so good. Alright, so someone said that you can't get unique items in Temis, and that if I go over here and gamble, I can get better items. So we're going to give that a chance because I need unique hands and I need unique feet. So let's give it a try. Diablo 4 does have a absolutely massive map. One Piece, I only commented that to see the meltdown. Thank you, Dio. One Piece, y'all know how I feel about One Piece. That One Piece is the worst anime ever made, and I will stand by that. Come on, gambling. Nothing. I need to another Death Note. I just started rewatch. I watch Death Note at least once a year. I absolutely love Death Note. Absolutely love Death Note. The funny thing about Death Note, though, the thing that always gets me with Death Note is how many people watch it and still think that Light Yagami is a good guy or intelligent. Like, Light is neither good nor intelligent. He is a petulant child with a terrible god complex, and gets caught because he couldn't stop himself from murdering someone for 5 seconds. Like, all Light had to do to not get caught was not fall for L's first trap. That's all he had to do, and he still managed to mess that up in the first 10 seconds. I hate the characters in One Piece. My friend, absolute favorite anime. The One Piece characters are absolutely hideous to look at. That's why I can't stand it. They are ugly characters. All the characters are ugly to look at. 100% agree with that. Luffy's voice is so annoying. But there's so much to hate on with One Piece. There's so much to hate on. You know what's a really good one though? KFC. If you want a good angsty anime that's about high school and growing and changing, check out on Netflix. There is an anime called Blue Period, and Blue Period is all about finding what you want out of life and growing up, and it's depressing, but it's really, really good. I highly recommend Blue Period. Do you have the day off? I do. And I have Fridays off by default, so I got a 4-day weekend this weekend, which I'm very, very hyped to have had. Because whenever I get a 4-day week, on top of getting a 4-day weekend, that means next week I only have to work 3 days because I get Monday and Fridays off. So I get a super long weekend and I get a super short week, which is very, very excellent. Came in the living room, how you put on live action One Piece for the kid. I was like, turn this off, and he goes, no, it's about pirates. It looks like it's for kids. I'm like, oh, no. I'm very, very glad for that. Gotta teach the kids while they're young to avoid the One Piece. Besides, you're a Bluey household. Well, what other things do the kids need other than Bluey? You've got Bluey. What else could a kid possibly need? Though Disney has a pirate show, and it always makes me giggle because the pirate show, one of the things on the pirate show is about how, like, remember kids, follow the pirate's creed. A good pirate never takes anything that doesn't belong to them. And it's like, I get that it's a kid's show and they're trying to put, morals and values in it, but like, trying to tell kids not to steal as a pirate kind of defeats the whole point of pirates, We need more pirate movie media. Pirates of the Caribbean can only hold my favorite spot for so long. I agree with that. I love pirates. I'm pretty sure wasn't there like Black Sails? People really loved Black Sails for a long time, didn't they? Like, did you give that one a try? My grandma loved it, so I don't know if that tells you anything about the show, but my grandma loved Black Sails when it came out. Which I'm trying to, the internet is trying to make me watch Dutton Ranch. I keep getting stuff for Dutton Ranch. Is that worth watching? Do you like Waffle House? I unfortunately live in one of the few places where Waffle House does not exist. So unfortunately, I've never tried Waffle House because it does not exist in the Great Pacific Northwest. I want to try Waffle House. I want to enjoy Waffle House, but there are no Waffle Houses near me, unfortunately. The closest I can get is Denny's, and I'm pretty sure that's not the same. What was that? That is one of my chief complaints about Diablo is that right there. There is so much garbage going on the screen at once. So many, like, thousands of abilities and explosions and stuff. Like, when I get all of my abilities going, like, how can I possibly tell what is going on the screen when everything is glowing like that? Like, they need a way to cut down on the visual clutter of this game so badly. Like, World of Warcraft is the same. Like, trying to raid in World of Warcraft is darn near impossible sometimes with just all the visual clutter. Like, how can any regular person be expected to understand what the heck they are looking at in this game? Denny's is awesome. I agree with that. The problem is pancakes are all carbs, so I don't get to enjoy pancakes and waffles as much as I probably should. Because I try not to indulge in carbs too much. Especially because this last 40 pounds I need to lose is going to be the hardest of all. Do you have norms? Nope, we do not have norms. We do have Dutch Brothers, though. You know, Dutch Brothers was born in the Great Pacific Northwest, so we got that. Which, this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but speaking like, I like Dutch Brothers, but I hate that every single one of their drinks is so much sugar, and like Starbucks has become the same thing. Like coffee restaurants and like coffee shops have never been more popular than they are now. And yet, even with there being a coffee shop on every corner, it's so hard to find a good cup of just black, delicious coffee. Everything is so filled with sugar and milk and extra garbage. Like, how is it that we have more coffee than ever, and yet there is no coffee at any of these coffee shops? It's like Sonic. We just lost all of our Sonics too. All the Sonics left my entire state. So we have no more Sonics either. Do you guys have an all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue spot? We have a few all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue spots, but I am vegetarian, so I don't typically go to those places because I can't really get my money's worth at an all-you-can-eat barbecue place if I don't eat the barbecue, you know? Plus, I don't do sugars, and most barbecue is just sugar also. So, unfortunately, I don't get any of that. What is my favorite restaurant? Okay, I'll break it into two. If I absolutely must eat fast food, like if I have no other options and I'm gonna eat fast food, my absolute favorite fast food restaurant is Taco Bell, because Taco Bell has so many vegetarian options. That you can't say no to that, right? So many different vegetarian options. It's so cheap, it's accessible. But for actual sit-down restaurants, we have this place in our area called Don Froyland. And Don Froyland is a local award-winning cremeria that makes their own cheese by hand every day. And they make amazing cheese. And so because they make amazing cheese, they also make really amazing burritos and really amazing quesadillas, and they have vegetarian options. So that is my actual favorite restaurant. Although I am partial also to Indian food. I really enjoy a place that serves like a good naan. You can't beat a good naan. Would have thought Panera or something. Panera. I have only ate Panera bread once in my life, and I hated it so much I will never go back to Panera bread because I paid $16 for a half of a sandwich and a mediocre half cup of soup. Like, their portion sizes are so small, and their food is so meh, and their prices are so high that I was so upset at them. I was like, I am never gonna get Panera bread ever again. I was so disappointed with my Panera experience. As so many people put it, that it's basically overpriced hospital food. I think I snapped my tailbone in my half bike. The wedge sore a lot of the times. That sounds awful. I have always feared that is one of my top 10 waffle fears, is breaking your tailbone. Cause not being able to sit just sounds like an absolutely miserable experience, right? Like, especially because like I stream and then I go to work and I work a desk job. Like, if I can't sit, that's like 15 hours a day I gotta find a way to fill out my day. So I live in fear of breaking my tailbone. I never think of Taco Bell and vegetarian options. Yeah, Taco Bell. So Here's the thing: if you open up the Taco Bell app, you can literally change every single one of their items. Every single item on the Taco Bell menu can be made vegetarian. They can change every single item to be a vegetarian item, which is just so excellent. They will any item you can request, hey, can you remove the meat off of that and replace it with beans or potatoes instead? They will do every single item can be turned into vegetarian, and that is just so awesome. It is so hard to get good, cheap vegetarian food. And so, like I said, when I'm on the go and I have to eat fast food, that is my go-to. All right, let's go gambling. Let's see what's in the treasure chest. Nothing great. I will praise Burger King for that as well, though. I'm not a huge Burger King fan, but Burger King now offers you the Beyond Whopper. So like if I'm on the go and I desperately want a burger, I do appreciate that I can get a fast food vegetarian option for that. It's not the best. I certainly wouldn't say, hey, you know, like, definitely go to Burger King and get their burger, but like if you don't have any other options, the Burger King Beyond Burger is not bad. Their employees, on the other hand, like, I know I complained about this a lot, but that I'm still so flabbergasted with how incompetent those employees were when I went that one time to get a Beyond Burger. So, like, I'm sure it varies by location, but the only play solo games, Subnautica 2 with friends is my new addiction. I've been playing Subnautica 2 a little bit. I definitely enjoy Subnautica 2. I typically play solo just because I play games at weird times. You know, I stream at 6 o'clock in the morning, so typically people aren't playing, and I don't really have a whole lot of friends, so I typically don't play games with other people because my stream times are weird and I don't have friends to play them with. But like, I've done a few, like Helldivers. A few times I've played with viewers. I've played Helldivers with viewers. I don't necessarily think I'd hate Subnautica. I don't even know how Subnautica with friends works though. Does the whole game work in multiplayer? Is it just literally the base game but with other people? But like I said, as things with my brother-in-law change things, maybe we'll do a night stream, and maybe if we do night streams, I'll be able to play with other people. So that might be on the horizon. We'll see. As much as I don't like living with other people, I would not mind if he stayed for like 2 months. If he stayed with us for 2 months, and that gave him a chance to save up like $2,000, give or take, for first and last month's rent and all that, I think that would put him in a very good situation. The unfortunate truth, though, is that he said he can afford to pay $800 a month in rent, and I was like, my dude, $800 a month in rent is gonna buy you like someone's basement at best. Like, yeah. Unfortunately, living by yourself is now going to be a luxury. The new norm is going to be having 4 roommates who can each afford to pay $1,000 a month in rent, you know? So, unfortunately, you're going to have to find roommates because $800 a month does not pay rent, which is a bummer. He's like, when Emmy and I got our first apartment, we rented a 2-bedroom apartment, and yes, it was in a bad part of town, but we got a 2-bedroom apartment for $525 a month. That was our rent for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in the meh part of town. So like, Dex, my first apartment was $450. Rent has definitely gotten out of control. That rent is now $1,500, $2,000. Just not doable. Got $1,000 a month in my place, and we were stoked to find it. 1 bathroom ain't it cheap. That is our next home. Emmy and I have talked about this at length. Our next home will definitely be a minimum of two bathrooms. We've been home shopping. Unfortunately, buying a house right now is garbage. So we probably won't get a new house anytime soon, but we want our next house to be a bare minimum of four bedrooms, 2 bathrooms is our bare minimum requirement for our next house. So that is what we are on the look for. When we left rent up to 805, because here's the thing: is you basically, the way it's set up, especially if you have rent laws, like if you live in an area that says that for renter protection you cannot raise your rent more than 5% per year. Well, that basically guarantees that you're going to have your rent hiked by 5% every year, because if they can't raise their rent more, then that means that no matter what, they're going to raise their rent every single month. Otherwise, they're going to miss out on money, right? So, like, ironically, those renter protection laws also mean that people are going to have a hard time finding rent. I feel like people move too much nowadays. Exactly, that's what it turns into. We'll raise it as much as we legally can, because otherwise we're going to miss out on money. I do feel like people move a lot nowadays, but I don't think they want to move a lot. I feel like they're moving because rent just gets so unaffordable in their area that they have to constantly move because it just becomes unaffordable. No swords. This isn't what we were looking for. Outside of renting? Oh, that's because for a while there, the smart move was to buy a house and then sell it and move. Like, my first house, the house we're living in right now, when I bought this house, it was worth $100,000. Zillow estimates it at $350,000 right now. So, like, if I would have sold the house for $250,000 after the first year, I could have made $100,000, bought another house, sold that house for another couple $100,000, and made a ton of money, right? So that's why people move a lot when they're buying houses, because houses went so much in value that you would be silly not to do that. But I wasn't looking to make a whole bunch of money. I wanted a house to live in and make a home, you know? So, call me foolish, but that was my goal. And now we could sell our house. We could still sell our house for a huge profit. Like, we could make $250,000 off our house. But with the mortgage rates as high as they are, like, all of our profit would just go into the next house. Like, we wouldn't make any profit. And then we'd be saddled with a huge mortgage payment because interest rates are 200 or 6%, 7%, 8%. Like, it's just outrageous how high the mortgage rates are. So when mortgage rates are a little bit better, we'll probably sell our house. But there's a good chance that we're going to see a housing market crash happen, and we're going to be stuck in this house for a little bit longer. You know what would help housing a whole lot? If you couldn't use houses as investments. If corporations could not buy houses, that would be the first step to making housing more affordable and way better, is if corporations simply were not allowed to purchase housing. If foreign investors could not purchase housing. If housing was seen as not a luxury, but as a necessity and treated like that. We could have affordable housing for everyone. But no. Corporations need to make money. Gotta think of the multi-billion-dollar corporations. The fact that Nestle tries to argue that water is not a human right and not a necessity tells you everything you need to know about corporations. You gotta hand it to Nestle, though. They have speedrun being one of the most evil entities to ever exist, and that is quite the accomplishment. If you didn't know, if you can boycott Nestle, Nestle is one of the most evil and foul corporations to ever exist. But they own so much that it's so hard to actually boycott Nestle because they just own so much. But if you can, boycott them. If you can, look at how many children died because of Nestle. It is a rabbit hole and a half. All right, we did an event. We got nothing. I feel like we haven't gotten a single piece of loot that we've actually worn during this entire time. We've been playing for 2 hours. We've gotten thousands of pieces of loot, and we haven't gotten a single upgrade. Like, what's up with that, Blizz? Where's my loot? You gotta give me something. Anything. The loot treadmill doesn't work if I don't actually get anything, if I don't feel justly rewarded. Come on, loot treadmill. We need unique gloves and boots. I know I said it earlier in the stream, this is so satisfying though, walking into a room and just like blowing the entire room up and just seeing all the enemies explode into piles of loot. Delicious. Alright, we got Gil the Nongari Thaumaturgist. Goodbye. We'll take that. Unique focus, not what we're looking for. Not what we're looking for at all. Leave me alone, I'm just trying to pick up loot. Go away. Okay. Oh, when you lose at least 10% of your maximum life, you kill lesser demons that absorb 6% of your life. Okay, that's not bad. I lose a lot of toughness on that though, so we're not gonna do that. Know what we need to do here. I think we need to bump up the difficulty is what we need to do. I think it's time to jump to the next difficulty. Grab all that. I didn't see anything. Cage of Madness. Your evade transforms you into an angry lunatic for up to 15 seconds that explodes, dealing command fallens damage increasing by 100% for every second you transform. While you're an angry lunatic, your move speed is 60%, and you periodically spend many lunatics. Okay, this feels like a bad idea. This helmet seems like absolute garbage, but we have to... You know what? That's not bad. Let's give that let's try that out in real world experience. Let's give that a test. That actually seems useful. Alright, let's bump up to Torment 7. And we need to do the pit. Alright, let's test out this lunatic helmet. When's the meteor gonna wipe 99% of us? We can restart already. I know people keep talking about that. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about the meteor coming to hit us, and that the elites know the meteor is coming. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I understand why people feel that way, right? We were talking about housing being unaffordable, Nestle taking water away from everyone. Like, I could definitely see where the sentiment comes from. I don't know what to waste money on. Didn't you say you wanted that Dremel? Go buy your Dremel. Go buy your drill. Oh, that feels good. Come on, blow him up. Kaboom! Once more. Oh, has anyone watched Apex? Emmy says she's been influenced, that she keeps getting ads for watching the Netflix movie Apex. Has anyone seen that? Is that worth us sitting down and watching? Oh, there's a lot of explodey things down there. Okay. We almost watched it last night. Why didn't you? Was there something like you started like, no, we're not going to do this? Was it something that draw you away from it, or was it just like, yeah, we're going to bed instead of watching a movie? Should watch Monarch though? What is like the Venture Brothers? The Monarch! Like that Monarch? Because I love me the Venture Brothers. I could talk about the Venture Brothers a whole lot. If you want to know about movies, I know literally nothing. I know like 2 actors. I've only watched 7 movies in my life. That is how I am, KFC. For the longest time, I had never watched hardly any movies. I still don't know actors, so I'm right in there. I will say, though, I've gotten better at actors in pop culture a little bit. Though, Emmy and I have finally decided we are going to watch a Star Wars. We are, in the next month or 2, we are finally going to get Disney Plus, so that we can finally watch Star Wars and see what all the hype is about with Star Wars. So we are going to watch Star Wars in the next month or 2. So be prepared be prepared for some Star Wars hate, because I assume that, like everything else, I'm going to watch those original movies and be like, wow, this is overrated, is my guess. I would love to be wrong, but I have a feeling. Godzilla, King Kong Monarch. Anyone watch some of the old Godzillas? So we are going to be on a Godzilla kick here soon too. So we will be watching Godzilla too. Don't watch the new series. We are watching it all. We want to experience all of it. The prequels are pretty goated. Speaking of goats, Netflix came out with a movie, the Goat movie on Netflix. That was pretty good. I actually enjoyed that one a whole lot. I'm pretty sure it's just called Goat with like Stephen Curry, the basketball player. I'm pretty sure he's the Goat. It's a pretty good movie. If you haven't watched it, I do recommend it. The thing I was most surprised about is I hate having to say this is the movie is all about anthropomorphic animals because it's a goat, right? And I was very impressed that they did not overly sexualize the animals. And I hate that I have to say that, but so many movies with anthropomorphic animals are just like, look, here's a cat and she's got huge breasts, and they didn't do that, which I very much appreciated that. So if you haven't watched it, Goat was a very, very fun watch. Watch Goat. All right, we are sticking with this helmet. We like this helmet. We very much enjoy this helmet. I like turning into the lunatic and running very, very fast. That is very useful. What is this world coming to that you have to say that, right? That is one of those like brand new sentences you never thought you would have to say. Is like, wow, that crow has normal sized breasts. Is not something you ever would have thought you would have had to say, but here we are. All right, where's my stash? We're gonna come over here. We need to put this in there so that I don't lose it. And then I need to Google how do I get a 6-slot seal? You need a mythic one that has a +1 charm affix slot. Use the cube 3-to-1 conversion recipe to combine 5 legendary seals for a chance, and high level drops in torment +10. Okay, we are not close on that, but we might. We've never tried this 3-in-1 transformation, so I should have 1, 2, 3. So in theory, I should be able to transmute these into +1 charms. Oh, wow! On the first try. That is insanely good luck. I cannot believe we got that on our first try. Wow. So now we have a 6 set with our Mother's Embrace and our full 5-piece sigil set. Incredible. That's one for the ages right there. Right? That's such a crazy thing that it worked on the first go. So now we're just looking to upgrade. We need gloves and boots, and our build will finally be complete. And we're looking for gloves and boots. Wow. I'm so hyped that worked. However, it is time for me to stop streaming. It is 7 a.m. I've streamed a little bit extra long as a Memorial Day thing, but I got to get out of this chair. My back hurts. The dirty dishes are calling. I have things to do. So let's end with our prayer as always. How about that? In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for this blessed day, and thank you for all that you do for us. Today we continue to pray for the victims in Cuba, the people who are starving, the people who are undergoing great trials due to our politicians' decisions. Lord, help them. We pray for the victims of war, the war going on in the Middle East, all the people impacted by the war. Lord, help them. We pray for all those who don't have enough food, water, shelter, whatever it is they're lacking. Lord, help them. We pray for all the people who are currently graduating high school, who don't know what comes next in life, who are confused about what life means or what comes next. Lord, help them. And finally, we pray for all the souls in purgatory, all the souls who've been forgotten, all the souls who have no one left to pray for them. Lord, help them. All this we pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, everyone, that does it for me today. Thank you for joining me. Have a happy holiday and long weekend. It was great to see you all. Bubble, thank you so much for joining us again. Hopefully work ends here soon so you can hang out with us more, but glad to have you here. I know you're going to be having your kids soon, right? The baby is due soon, so here soon you won't have any time for streams. Here soon it will just be the baby for at least 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. So hope to get to see you more. Everyone go and have a blessed day, and we will see you again on Wednesday.